Us today.
Thank you. You're welcome, man.
Well, mate, I guess I've got to start off by asking, how excited are you about being able to come down to Australia once again for a tour?
It's beyond, there are no words, honestly. I know people might tell you this, all those musicians tell you the same thing, but this is a true honor to be coming to Australia next week. We're so excited to bring our show and our metal.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about how this tour has come about and what makes you so excited about being able to come back to Australia to play.
Well, last year we came and it was very successful. And the promoters really loved the band. The fans really loved the band. So we were like, the promoters again came, well, you want to come again? People want to see you. I said, well, if the folks are there, the folks are going to come out to us. We're coming. So we're extremely excited. We're going to play the Hail to England record from front to back. We're going to do, obviously, more Manowar classics, some Rusty Boss songs, and we'll take it from there. Thing is, we're pulling ourselves, we're right at the end of recording our new record for March, April, and it's just, I stopped I'm doing guitars now, and I stopped the recordings for these interviews. So we're up against the deadline, but we're really excited to be coming.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the new album. What can we expect to hear on this new album, and what's the recording process been like?
Well, we did a little different this time. We didn't have a lot of time for pre-production since a lot of our members, like Mike LaPonda's in Symphony X, he was out on the road with them. So we basically demoed up a lot of songs, worked on our demos, then we brought the demos into the studio. Our drummer recorded, our drummer did his tracks, and we built it up from there, and the results have been absolutely spectacular. We just have 12 songs, 12 unbelievable tunes, new tunes, and I know people always hype their records. You have to. You can't say it's shit, but this record is, I would say, giant just miles and miles ahead of the last record.
Yeah. So how does it feel when you know you've got a deadline like that? Because you've probably got a deadline to get the album completed, but you've also got a tour coming up yourself that's going to take you away and overseas. How do you cope with that kind of stress of a deadline like that?
Well, it was just, we knew how much time we had. Mark, especially Mark, our singer, had he had a budget his time. He's actually on the plane now leaving for New Zealand. Him and Steve are spending a couple of days down there before we get there. So he's got everything with him. He's got his laptops and all his stuff. So he's going to be editing his vocals in New Zealand and sending them to Germany, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, but we knew exactly how much time we have left. I'm leaving on Tuesday. Michael Pond and I are leaving on Tuesday, so we actually have time. So.
Even the fact that he's able to go to New Zealand, do his edit his vocals there, and then send them to Germany, that must be something that would have been, you couldn't even imagine that when you first started out in the music industry. How do you find that with technology these days? Does it surprise you how far technology's come in the music industry since you first started out?
To be able to send tracks all over the world.
Yeah.
It's incredible. The internet really is amazing. The internet actually has destroyed music, and it's made music.
Yeah. You said that it's destroyed music. What do you mean by that? Do you think because of the fact that people...
it's destroyed the record business.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah.
It's gotten down to people steal. People want what they can get. They don't have to pay for it. They'd rather spend it on booze or beer or, bullshit. But listen, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
But most metal fans are true fans that buy the band's products. So.
Yeah, definitely. And here in Australia, we're finding there's such a resurgence in CDs and also vinyl. In fact, in the last 12 months, it's the first time in about the last decade where physical sales have once again outsold downloads.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, vinyl sales will outsell CD sales this year.
Yep.
Which is amazing. So
definitely. Well,
amazing.
bringing it back to the tour. Tell us a little bit about what's made you decide to cover Hail to England. What's made you decide that's the album that you're going to play from start to finish?
Well, it's the 35th anniversary of the record, and for me, it's one of my favorite records that the band did. I just love the record. I have 2 songs on it. I wrote Each Dawn I Die and Army of the Immortals. I mean, I'm just like, it's really a great record.
Yeah.
Really, really is a tremendous record. And, the cover, it's still my favorite cover. And, it's just marked time, that record, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's a special record. But all those six Manuel records were special records.
Yeah.
So.
What's it been like going back and re-exploring music that you worked on 35 years ago? Like, what has that been like personally for you?
Well, to play it honestly, that's the way we are. We go on stage and just play it as hard and true as we can possibly get it. It's really thrilling. It truly is, because I feel that way about playing to begin with. It's an honor to be playing, and it's an honor to be performing. I've been doing this for a long time, since 1975, and what can I say? It's just a blast to play music.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. We had Pennywise on the show last.
And the look.
Sorry, go ahead.
And the look on people's faces.
Yeah.
And the look on people's faces when you do it is even better. So.
Yeah, we had Pennywise on the show last week, and they're going back and covering one of their old albums, and they said that they've realized that there's some tracks on that album that they haven't played live ever. Have you found that there's some tracks on Hail to England that you haven't played live for a long time that you've had to really go back and re-explore?
Well, we're doing Army of the Immortals. All the other ones we've done. So Army of the Immortals, we really started playing it, and it's great. People love the track. So Hail to England, we've done a lot too.
Yeah. So
we're really excited. Yeah, we're really excited about it.
How did you find finding the time to actually rehearse for this tour at the same time as you were recording an album? Was that a little bit of a nightmare?
Well, we had to go to England. We had to go to Germany and Belgium 2 weeks ago, and we played, and we had a day of rehearsing. So we did the rehearsing there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about getting accepted into the Hall of Fame. I haven't chatted to you since that happened, so I wanted to ask you a little bit about what that meant to you getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, and how that made you feel when you found out that was happening.
It was really something else. I mean, it was a new thing, the Hall of Heavy Metal History. It was the first year, and I was the first class. I was nominated the first class, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, really, you never expect stuff like that in your life. But when I heard that, I was just floored. I absolutely floored and honored that they would think, they thought of me like that, and the votes were all there. And I mean, when they stacked up my career, and the whole thing was like unbelievable. With the Dictators and Manowar, it was just an honor, and I just can't believe it. And then they made me Global Medal Ambassador in front of 90,000 people at Wacken.
Yeah.
That was just, you can't make stuff up like that. I mean, you really can't.
Yeah.
And, to this day, I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget it.
So tell us a little bit about that. What was the Global Medal Ambassador? What was your role to do in that job?
Well, they wanted to bring the Hall of Heavy Metal History to a larger group of people, to establish it with all the other bands, and it was the first year, and so they, the creators, they said, listen, Russ is going to do it. Let's give him this award, and he deserves it. Let's bring out the word in front of Wacken, in front of 90,000 people.
Yeah.
So it was done. It was very successful, and since then, Judas Priest, Doro Pesh, so many people have been inducted, and I think that's what really, made everyone take it seriously.
Yeah,
more seriously the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which it was just for heavy metal, it's just a joke. So, plus, it's like for people in the industry, like the agents, like the owner of the Rainbow Bar, so those people that really have been involved in it deserve.
Yep. Definitely.
So,
yep. So looking back to when you first started out in 1975, could you imagine that you would still be playing music in 2019?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I didn't think it. No, I had no idea I would be still here. No.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about how you have seen as the big changes over the years, because you're someone that you can actually ask that question to and get a direct answer, because you've been there since the beginning. So what's the things that you've noticed that's changed the most in the heavy metal world since that time when you first started out?
I don't know. I think that the separating of genres in the business. The fact that it's so, metal is so not broken down, but so many individual genres in the main genre, like Viking metal, true metal, progressive metal, speed metal, thrash metal, folk rock, Viking folk, all this stuff. And I only called it heavy metal or rock and roll. That's all. I just had one word for it when I and I still do.
Yeah.
I don't buy that at all the other genres. I just don't buy it.
Yep, definitely. Well, Ross, I know we're running out of time, so I'll quickly ask before we go, what would you like to say to your Australian fans about this tour? Like, what would you like to say to them before they go out and grab tickets? And when can we expect a new album from you as well?
Okay. Well, the new album will be out in March, the end of March, I think.
Okay.
If all goes right, if all our parts are in, and the production is on time, and the artwork and everything, we're working like maniacs to finish it. So it's going to be there. The record is going to be fantastic. I'm just telling you, the record's fantastic. It's light years away from the last one.
Can't wait.
So please come out in Australia. Please come out, brothers and sisters. Come out and see the band. The band is at the top of its game. It's unbelievable. Mike LaPond is one of the greatest bass players in the world. Him and Billy Sheehan. Our drummer is phenomenal. Steve Bolognese, our singer, is probably one of the best frontmans out there now. And of course, yours truly, Ross the Boss. He's been known to play a few licks every once in a while. So come out and see the band, folks. You will not regret it. And we're the friendliest guys at the end. We'll shake hands. We'll sign everything you want. And everybody's going to leave with a big old smile on their face.
Awesome. Well, mate, thank you so much for chatting to us today. It's been an absolute honour, and we cannot wait to see you here in Australia.
Okay, man.
All right, mate. I'll let you get back to recording, but thanks again. Thanks.
All right,
bye.